We are reporting live from a very messy getting ready station. Every morning before I go to work, whether I wake up early, whether I wake up late, I just make such a big mess. And my mirror's dirty. We're going to try that again. Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a week in my life as an employment lawyer. In all honesty, I don't know how far we're going to make it in this vlog, but we are going to try. Just got ready. I'm going to go downstairs and make myself a quick coffee before I rush to the office, because no matter what time I wake up in the morning, you will always find me rushing. It's a bit much in the mornings, not gonna lie, especially with girlies who have anxiety like me. I'm gonna go downstairs, make a coffee, grab all my shit because everything is in like 3 or 4 different bags. So I just need to take the most important things and consolidate my belongings so that I can take them with me for a day in London. I'm gonna take my book firstly. If you know, you know. Good morning. Hi, baby. Oh, hello. We have had like the worst heat recently. London just doesn't know how to be warm. I have to make a coffee to go because obviously I'm late. To be honest, I'm not late, I'm just being dramatic. It takes me about 4... Oh no, I broke a... Oh! Oopsie. I just broke a glass. I really hope I didn't get glass in the bloody... I'm not even rushing and things are just not going to plan. Honestly, I didn't pick the best morning to vlog. This is going to happen anyways, whether I vlog or not. Best part of the morning. So I'm actually going to work today on a Monday because I promised this really lovely lady in like one part of the company. So I work for a really large company. We've got like several teams. I helped her out on like legal advice maybe 5-6 months ago. Also a lawyer, but she doesn't practice, or I think she doesn't practice. But she asked me about my journey and she said she was really impressed by it. A young girl, I think 6th form, she is coming to do work experience at the company I work for. She's asked me to come in and talk to her and just like tell her about my journey and like what it's like to be in-house and stuff. So that's why I'm going in. London is ridiculous. Like, I don't know why a cup of coffee or a flat white, which is what I get, a coconut flat white, is £4.50. It's really not about being stingy, it's about being smart, because that's how the rich get rich. I made it, guys. Got like a couple minutes to spare, so I'm not gonna sprint, but I will make it. It's just hit 9. My mum told me to remove maybe like 2 weeks ago. Good morning, guys. Today's actually Wednesday. I completely forgot and did not remember to vlog yesterday. Started work at 9 and I finished at about 6:30, which is a longer day for me. I try my best to finish at 5. It's been a very stressful week so far. Have at the moment 3 very challenging cases, 3 things that I have not dealt with. Well, I have dealt with them before, But this is a thing with employment law. Every case is different. If you're dealing with unfair dismissal, or if you're dealing with like a harassment case, for example, the facts will not be the same as the previous case that you've dealt with. So you have to be thinking on your feet all the time. Genuinely love that I am able to use my brain and actually apply the knowledge that I learned in law school to my daily work. I actually also use like my LPC textbooks still, because I made so many notes in there, and that's what employment law is. You need to know the basis of the law and then apply it. I always say that employment law is very similar to criminal law, in that it affects people's lives, and also the way that it's practiced is very similar. Monday was really nice because I went into work, as you guys saw. A work experience student in year 10 was doing work experience with the company that I work for. I asked her, why do you want to be a lawyer? It always interests me, like why everyone has their own story, and I love hearing why people wanted to be a lawyer to begin with. My story was that it was a really short story, so I'll tell you now. But I was picking my A-level option. I went into school on options day, and they asked me, what do you want to do when you're older? And I said, oh, I want to be a doctor. And they said, well, your science grades weren't the best. I think in physics I got like a D in my GCSEs. I remember this teacher, Mr. Vivash, he was so nice. And Mr. Vivash said, your grades are not that good, and you can't pick biology, chemistry and maths at A-level. And like, what was I thinking? I mean, I'm so glad I didn't, because I think I'd make a really good doctor. And I always say, like, if I wasn't a lawyer, I'd probably want to pursue a medical career. You know, healthcare has so many routes. You don't have to just be a doctor. But I said, okay, fine, like if I'm not going to be a doctor, then I'll be a lawyer. And it was literally in 2 minutes that I made that decision. Yeah, I asked this girl, like, why do you want to be a lawyer? And she said, well, my parents went through a divorce and I was really intrigued by the process. And I thought that was such a good answer. Today is again going to be a very busy day. I need to draw up a risk assessment of one of the cases that I'm dealing with. So when you think about risk assessment, you need to think about the risks associated with the situation. Obviously, I can't say too much because of confidentiality. So yeah, I apologize for not recording yesterday, but I think that is so realistic. Like, it's just not realistic to record every single day because work is so busy. One of the queries I actually got asked yesterday was, how do you deal with someone who doesn't show up to work? Like, it's their first day and they just don't turn up. And it's something so simple. You just think, oh, well, you just dismiss them because they've not shown an interest in their job, but that is not reasonable. So I found that really interesting. That's one of my cases. Employment law is really fun. I will stop talking and I will drink my hot coffee because I like drinking my coffee when it's hot. And if I remember to vlog for the rest of the day, I hope that I will, and I can keep you guys updated with the stuff that I do. But this is a realistic week in the life of a hybrid in-house lawyer. So I'll see you guys later. I've just made myself a big breakfast plate. So we've got mushrooms and cheese on sourdough toast, watermelon because that is a must. And then my mum last night made this like aubergine yogurt dip that you have on the side of food. I'm just having that with sourdough, and I'm just gonna eat this whilst I read some more emails. Welcome guys to a brand new day. Today is Thursday. I have a very croaky voice, not just because it's the morning, but I had a lot of pain last night and I had to take something a bit stronger than paracetamol, so I took cocodamol that is prescribed, and whenever I have cocodamol for any kind of pain, my voice is croaky for like the next, I don't know, 12 hours or so. Just so interesting. Like, I think that's such an interesting side effect. Before I sit down and really get into my work, I just thought I'd tell you guys like what I'm getting up to today. So last night, I actually finished work at 7 p.m. So yesterday at 3 o'clock, I realised that I have a court deadline today. And it's not because I'm unorganised, but it's because the court sent 2 deadlines. So one for today and one for next week for the same matter. 2 documents that were floating around were not the same document, and I had assumed that they were the same. And I think the last one that I had the 2nd of July deadline on it. The deadline is actually today. I just had to make sure that I did everything on my part to make sure that we were in a position to be able to submit defence today. Yesterday I said that I needed to draw up a risk assessment. I wasn't able to do that yesterday because of all the complications that arose during the day. So today I'm going to have to find some time for that risk assessment. In my notes, one agreement that I need to send off. So I've got the risk assessment. I need to think about a situation. Can't say anything about the situation, but I need to think about the situation. Also need to draft another letter, and that needs to be with the support of someone else. So yeah, lots of things going on. Don't think that I will finish at 5 again today. I'm going to try my absolute best to, but this just comes with the job. Being an employment lawyer, you have to very much be on your feet, and because I don't work in private practice and I'm an internal lawyer for the company that I work for, I just need to always be available and make sure that I'm able to provide an answer. It's been such an interesting week so far with just my brain in so many different places, but I think that's maybe quite normal. But it's so nice to be comfortable enough to give answers now. If 5 years ago you told me that I'd be in this role doing this job, I would have never ever believed you. Even like a year ago when I qualified, I was so worried. I just thought, how am I going to do this on my own? Like, how am I going to answer people's questions? How am I going to advise? How am I going to apply the law? But with everything, it comes with experience. And that's what I love about my job. I'm constantly learning new things, and I'm able to exercise my knowledge basically imminently. Now I need to finish my hot coffee. I always leave my coffee to get cold, and then it's not as enjoyable. We are still working very hard. I had a call this morning with someone, and he was quite an established person in his career, and he said the nicest thing to me, and I just want to share it. And it's just affected like my confidence so much. But he basically said that I was very clear and concise, and that he really enjoyed his half-an-hour call with me because I made his life so much easier, and the way I presented myself was perfect and worked very well with the way that he learns. Literally made my day and makes me feel so confident when I've not been feeling as confident this week because I've had so much to do. But it makes such a difference when you work with really nice people, and especially people who like boost your confidence. I think that's so important as a young lawyer. But I thought I'd share that because that was such a nice thing that he said to me, and my day is made. This is the best part of my workday alongside my lovely fluffy dog. The weather seems to be quite nice, so I am going to take my coffee and sit in the garden for about half an hour before I start work. Let my hair dry under the morning sun as well. I can't tell you guys what a busy work week it's been. I'd be lying if I said that this week wasn't a busy week at work. It can be really busy, and the most important thing about having a professional career is that you enjoy your job, and I very much enjoy what I do. I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock, which I don't mind. I don't mind waking up at 6, especially because it gives me time to go to the gym. And there was a period in my life not long ago where I was waking up really early every day and going to the gym, but I think I was more motivated because my gym was further away. Now I've joined a new gym that's a lot closer, and I just know that it's accessible at any time. I just kind of put it off till later, and then later comes around and it's like super busy. One of the things that I love about working from home is you can get a decent meal at home. It's healthy. It's like fresh bread with cheese and tomato, but like in terms of calories, it's much more than I probably wanted in the morning. I got myself some blueberries, some raspberries, and my toasties. It's actually a bit late for breakfast. It's 11 o'clock, 11:09 to be specific. But I was busy with work this morning, so I couldn't eat earlier. I'm going to now eat my breakfast, read an article on flexible working, because flexible working is actually a day one right for employees in the UK as of 1st of April. So being an employment lawyer means that you need to constantly apply the law to the case that you're faced with, and that is something that I really enjoy about my job. Sounds like super nerdy, but I have to read statute probably on a daily basis, read case law on a daily basis, and make sure that my advice aligns with previous case law. And obviously sometimes case law can be contrasting. Each case has its own facts and each case is decided on its own merits, so it's so important as a lawyer to rationalize like the facts that you're faced with and then come to an appropriate conclusion. And you can never 100% be right, and I think there is comfort in that, because you could potentially be advising on something that could change the law in your area, which sounds way more dramatic than it's supposed to, but it's true. Like if your case goes to tribunal and there is a principle of law derived from that case, then you have contributed to changing cases and case law and the law. I was editing this video on the tube and I realized that I didn't actually film an outro because life just gets so busy, but this is the outro. We're like a couple weeks ahead of where we were in the last clip in this video. I just got back from work and I really want to put this video up because I feel like it was such a realistic week in the life of me as an employment lawyer working in-house, and so much has happened since. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support. Have any video ideas, or if you have any questions about the legal profession, leave them down below or message me on Instagram. All my details will be in the description box below on the side. Now I don't even know, but yeah, I really enjoyed filming this video and I really enjoyed editing it, because I feel like when I was new to the profession I didn't know what to expect, especially working in-house as an employment solicitor. It was so difficult to navigate my way through, but I hope that I can add some value to that, shed some light on what it's actually like to be a lawyer working in-house, or just as a lawyer newly qualified anyways. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!